With a car this classy, I feel like I should have kind of spruced up my attire. I feel like I should be wearing like a suit or like some James Bond outfit or something, but this is what I'm in, and this is how we will film. Well, the title says it all. You guys have seen this in the background of a couple of my last videos, but here we have my first, a channel first, my very first E9 BMW, arguably the king of classic BMW, the holy grail, the most beautiful car BMW ever built. And to make it even cooler, this thing is fresh off the boat from Italy. So this car was originated in Sicily, Italy is where it's lived most of its life. Then it went up with a fellow to a little town called Loreto, Italy, where I visited when I was in Europe. So I have been there, I have met the seller of this car, and brought it home. This car was bought sight unseen. I met the guy after the fact when it was already here, and that was an experience, let me just say. We'll get into that, but boy oh boy was importing this car from Italy not a fun experience. The car itself, luckily, is for the most part very solid, very clean, what I was after, but there is a few things that need to be addressed, a few things that wasn't made aware of, and that's a whole nother story. But basically, first off, I want to say this is the last video where I will be using a stupid Apple headset microphone, and the last video on my Canon G7X. We have new camera equipment coming in. I got all new camera, mic, very excited about that. Also, in terms of the shop space, this is the last episode where we will have plain white walls. I have been accumulating vintage BMW artwork, not only vintage, but also non-vintage, just BMW artwork, let's say. I got a 6-foot crate behind you guys with a very cool motorsport sign. A lot of cool stuff. We will do a tour of the shop once it's all set up. But anyway, last video with this janky setup, last video with plain walls. So let's get into the heart of what this video is about, and that is my brand new E9 BMW. What type of E9? It is a 3.0 CS, which means it is carbureted, which is right now causing me to have a little bit of regret and remorse, because I have to admit that, yes, everyone always says, oh, you're so knowledgeable in the old BMWs. Well, there's one thing that goes right over my head and just defeats my knowledge, and that is the carburetors. I do not understand how to tune carbs, how to mess with carbs, and the issue with that is this thing needs help because it does not run very good. We would be going on our first test drive, but we will not be in this video because this car needs a good few hours of labor and work just to get it operable. So I am a little bit nervous, but I think it'll be a fun little series for the channel. We will get to learn carburetors together, maybe, unless I cave and have a buddy do it for me, because I don't know if I could figure it out. But anyway, this car is finished in a beautiful Polaris silver, same as my E28, same as my E24. I have a lot of Polaris cars right now, but it's obviously refinished, repainted. It would be pretty impossible to find an E9 that has not been repainted in today's day and age, and if it hasn't been repainted, it's probably because it's rotting into the ground somewhere, because almost all these cars have had resprays. But what's cool about this car, otherwise, is it's all original. Original interior, original underside, which is maybe questionable for the age, and otherwise like original chrome, and it's all in really good shape. It lived its life, like I said, in Sicily, so it's never seen really winter. I don't know if that's right. I don't know what weather they get, but I believe Sicily is beautiful weather year-round, but I could be wrong. And you'll see in later videos, we have a few E9s coming from Germany in business side of things, and I'll show the difference between a fully restored E9 and something like this. This is also a business car. This is not a keeper car. The change of my channel right now is that everything has a price and everything will probably be for sale, except for like personal cars like the E46 and stuff, that those are never going anywhere. But stuff like this will come, be repaired, sold, etc. Maybe one day I'll keep one for myself, but I gotta start making money before I do that. So I'm gonna take you guys around and we're gonna check out this beautiful E9. So obviously starting off at the exterior, very pretty car, Euro bumpers of course because it's from Europe. And it's very dirty, mind you, but it is in very good shape. I mean, it's straight. I don't even think there's any dents on this car, to be honest with you guys. It is very solid all the way around. I mean, look how special an E9 is. This thing is like a dream to even see. I remember seeing one of these cars in person, and it was in Malibu, California, and I almost freaked out. Like, this is like you see it in movies, TV shows, whatever. This is the king of classics right here, man. It is such a cool and unique car. The body lines, the design, it looks like a little spaceship, man. 3.0 CS. This is the big old Italy plate like frame, so it covers the trunk button, so you gotta do that and you get in the trunk. We have a big old trunk space on this car. It's a blue interior car, so we have a blue trunk mat, but otherwise all original, not really too special. Underneath, spare tire well, no rust, at least that can be seen. I have pictures underneath. I don't want to take that out right now for the sake of I only have one hand, but it is a very solid car. So it isn't really rusty or anything like that. It's all original underneath, but obviously in the land of not super rusty, so it's very hard to see, but it is a solid car. I mean, it's got original floors and they're all there and intact, which is pretty rare for an E9, so that's how you know it's kind of had a decent life. But absolutely awesome staple of E9ery is the cool roundel on the side there. You'll notice the windows are all at different heights. That is because almost none of the windows work on this car. That's a whole nother thing we'll get into in a bit. But, I mean, look at how cool, like, the door handle's built into the chrome trim. Like, how awesome. The doors open and close, super solid. This is a 1971, I forgot to mention that. But here, stepping into the interior, filthy, but all original blue cloth interior. Look at how, I'm not sure if this is missing a piece or what's going on there, but all original blue velour is what they would call this, I believe. And it is beautiful. We gotta do a rear seat test because I've done this in E24s and all the cars that have unique rear seats. And let's see. Okay, well, my head hits the window, so that's kind of like a death trap, but very comfortable. A lot like, okay, cobwebs. A lot like an E24, but a little less like dippy in your butt area. No, this is pretty cool. It's not necessarily a spacious car, but it is a pretty sizable coupe. So now let's see if pushing that down, oh, and that locks it. Look at that, how cool. Blue floor mats, glove box is a button, and otherwise a very unique, cool little inside. So here's the dashboard. The one thing I made on an Instagram story, joked about, is look at what these climate controls tell you. It's like, okay, oval, triangle down, triangle up, a volume gauge, square or rhombus. Like, what in the hell is that supposed to mean? Now, if I had to guess, because I'm a smart guy, open, closed for the vents, and they're completely stuck. This is low fan speed, higher fan speed, cold to warm. Ooh, that makes a very audible noise. And then this is, I have no idea what this is. This is maybe your front vents. If I had to guess. I think this is a front vent, probably from the outside. You have your defrost vents, a cool little cubby storage area. No radio in this car, so that's interesting. I don't know if these were an option to have radios or what's up with that. You got the slick leather zip-up shift boot. That's cool. Shifter, no insignias on it. It's a 4-speed trans. I got the window switches all taken apart here because that back window right there, completely broken, and I found one on eBay for 25 bucks. So we'll be replacing the window switch. That's why this whole center console is kind of out of place, to fix that. Over here, we got our old style steering wheel, similar to what like an E12 comes with, I think. Then you have your cluster here. So you have, what do we got? On the right side, we have a clock, which is very cool. Clock, RPM, tach or speedometer. It's in kilometers, obviously. 20,644 kilometers on this car, so that's like very low miles. These things don't have a 6-digit odometer, so who knows if that's rolled over, and it could be 120, it could be 220. I honestly, for the sake of what this car looks like condition-wise, wouldn't be surprised if that's 120 or more. And then on the left side there, if you can see, you got your fuel gauge and you got your temp gauge. And then we have a light that's completely illuminated, an L light. And what that is, from my research, is the alternator backfeeding through a bad diode, which basically kills your battery. So it's kind of like the car tells you, okay, I have a bad alternator, and to tell you that, I'm going to light up a light that will kill the battery on the car. So I don't know what's up with that, but I luckily found a guy who sent me a spare alternator, so we have to replace the alternator on this thing. We have our little sun visors with a mirror. Oh man, look how dusty that mirror is. Oof, dirty. You got your overhead lights, which actually work. Sorry, my camera angles are a little bit off because I'm too busy trying to learn the car myself. No sunroof, it's a slick top car, which is nice. Coming over on the door, you got the old, just like the E20. Ew, is that a worm? A mealworm? That's an Italian bug right there. Okay, let's close that up. Storage cubby there. You got your okay, that broke right out. You got your ashtray right here. And this is what I mean when I say this is an original condition car. And when I was in Germany, I was sitting in some fully restored examples, and you can't even compare like the feeling of what those feel like on the inside. Like all new rubber and everything is just new, and it feels like you're hopping in like a well put together BMW. This thing feels like you're hopping into a artifact that can break at any moment. It is kind of nerve-wracking, but I don't know what this is. Oh, cigarette lighter. Wow, how cool. I wonder if it works. We're not gonna find out. This is, I think, an electronic choke, so that's cool. It has the little side vent windows, which are just super, they're super James Bondy, but they remind me of the old 60s cars, like my old 62 Bel Air. I think it's really cool to have those vents. You got the chrome topped windows, which this one is stuck down because it's off the motor. So we have to do a motor on this car, get the window back on the motor. This window completely stuck. Switch for that window's broken. Driver window is the only one that works, which is, I guess, more important than any of the other ones, but still. The seats have chrome features, just super retro. You can just tell this is a 60s, 70s car. You got the chrome door sills like on the E24. Curved glass, which is very unique. You guys know where the E46 got its vents from? Right here. E9s came with the vents. We got the 14-inch stock wheels, which are, I don't know, not ugly, but not great. Calipers on the front is the rear disc brakes. Let's see. Oh no, the rear is calipers and disc brakes. I mean, not drum. Is the rear drum or disc? It's disc. 2002 has drums in the back. So I guess, if you're talking about kind of the model lineup, when this is really cool to me that I have two 70s cars because I've never had 70s BMWs except for my old E12. This is like a mid-range. This is premium, I think. I don't really know. I need a drink of water here. Anyway, turn signal, headlights, nothing too special. Old, small little kidney grills. We love them. Let's look underneath the hood here. Chrome wiper stalks, which is so cool. Forgot to finish up on the driver's side. You got the little, well, first off, can we see it? Made in Western Germany, Karmann. E9s are made by Karmann. They made the body. Then this is your little fuse box access panel, which is also where the hood latch is. Take a look at some ancient fuses. Doesn't that look scary? Yes, it does look scary, to answer your question. Okay, we're done in there. Now to the engine bay. What do we have here? We got a big old carburetor intake. We have an Italian battery, FAM, start technology. This is cool how these are all still here. I don't know, I'm not well versed enough in E9s to know what's original on here. I know that over here we have the VIN stamp sticker, which to me I think is not even in the right spot. I think it's supposed to be here. You can see kind of where it used to be. So when E9s are restored, a lot of different things are done These are moved around when they repaint. I mean, they're all over the place. Every E9 you look at on Bring a Trailer has different things going on, and I'm in the process of learning. So this is probably all like sprayed to cover who knows what, but it feels solid, so maybe it's not, I don't know. There's only a VIN in one location on E9 aside from this sticker, and that is right there. You probably can't see it on camera, but it reads 80, or no, wait, what am I reading here? I'm reading it upside down. So it reads 2210408. Come over here, 2210408. So that means you have a matching numbers car, which is good. This is the original VIN stamp. The original cowl hasn't been cut out. Bayerisch Motor and Work AG München BMW 3.0 CS, made in Germany, and some other stuff I can't read. Alben Lackierung BMW Polaris, original BMW tile sticker, and then as far as stickers in the engine bay, that's all. Recognizable face in there, an M30. So this is an M30 B30, obviously 3.0, and it is a carbed car, and it's on its original Zenith carburetors, which is a terrifying thing because I think parts are hard to find. I think themselves is just hard to tune. I don't know. I think a lot of people phase out the Zeniths, but I'm not sure. Old style cap and rotor, obviously. 2002 era clutch fan. All this looks pretty new. I think he replaced all that and did all the coolant and stuff, so it's had maintenance done. There's our little puny exhaust. It's cool though how the intake kind of just right into the carbs. This coil looks like absolute hell. But anyway, yeah, nothing else too crazy to see in the engine bay here. I mean, it's a very simple old M30. You got a huge brake booster here. Basically take the E28 project, get rid of fuel injection, and this is what you're left with, a 3.0. And then this follows suit to the E12s that came with the 3.0s that were injected with the thermal reactors and all that nonsense. You guys want to hear this run? I'm sure you do. And it hardly runs, but let's fire this thing up. Carbureted cars sounds super cool, super quiet. Does the key work or what's up? Oh, steering wheel locked. Woo! So yeah, it definitely runs and it's quiet, but and it runs pretty good at idle. But the thing is, at whatchamacallit, and that light goes off when it's running too, which is the goofiest thing. It's like, why not tell me when it runs? And then if you turn on headlights or horn, half the stuff doesn't work. But usually, and maybe not right now, something's up with the wiring on this car. When you use like the horn, the temp gauge will jump up. When you turn the headlights on, the temp gauge will jump up. I mean, it's just ancient gremlins and wiring and who knows, dude. It's scary stuff. Blower motor. Yeah, it doesn't work if it does have one. And I really don't know that it does. Oh yeah, it should actually. Let's turn this off before I asphyxiate myself. But, so it runs, and it runs decent at idle, and it revs up, and I have driven this thing once, but basically when you floor it, or even try to accelerate, you cannot accelerate over, let's say, 4,000 RPMs. It just starts breaking up. Something's up with the carbs. Either they need to be cleaned, synced, tuned, or balanced or something, or it could be an ignition problem. It could be a coil, cap, rotor. I don't really know because I haven't looked into it yet, and that'll be another episode. But we will get this thing running better, take it for our first drive, fix some odds and ends, and get this thing back to kind of how it should be, a running, driving car, which is what it should have been purchasing it. But that's a whole nother thing, guys. That's a whole nother thing. It runs, and that's cool enough. And I mean, just look at the quality of these cars. Like, look at this gap, right? So you're like, okay, closing the hood. Oh my God, it's gonna hit, dude. No, it does not. It is perfect. Look at the gap here. And everyone that's looked at this car, they're like, oh, that's off. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, this is just how it is. It is beautifully engineered, precise, beautiful cars, and E9s are pretty easy to tell if they've been in an accident because this is like a unibody, if you've noticed. Like, look at this. This fender does not come off. This is part of the body. Core support doesn't come off. You guys have seen me pull core supports on E34s and replace them. Not on this. So if this car was wrecked like that, damaged, whatever, it would never, ever like look proper, and it's easy to tell. So that's a double-edged sword though, because unibody is hard to fix. So if you have one that's damaged, then you're screwed. But when you buy one that's not damaged and doesn't have evident like welds and stuff like that, then you know you're good, which is cool. But yeah, so that's a quick little walk around of this beautiful, beautiful car. E9s are just gorgeous specimens, man. Like, this is a beautiful car. It reeks of carburetor in here. But yeah, so now that I'm looking at it, this is an antenna, so I don't know what's up with the no radio thing, if it has an antenna. That's the fun and cool thing about 70s cars is they all have a crazy story to tell because they are, 50 years old now? Like, this car's 49? What is it? I can't even remember. Whatever. It's old as can be. I'm not going to do the math in my head right now. So there's a lot of weird quirks and stuff over the years, how they were restored, whatever. But yeah, this is my first time importing a car from Europe. If you're wondering that process and how it is, pain in the ass. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of waiting. It's nerve-wracking. It sucks. So it's not for the light-hearted, man. So unless you can really dedicate time and money and whatever into it, don't even bother. Have someone else do it for you. Come to me if you want. If you want an E9, I can bring you an E9. I have people in Europe now that I'll be working with, and this shop will be just full of E9s soon. But this is the first one, and it is questionable. A lot of work needed. So next episode, we will get this thing hopefully running right, driving, fix some odds and ends, and just make it so that we're able to enjoy this beautiful 70s car. I'm very excited to own it. I love looking at it in the meantime. It is a beautiful car. It has a couple oil leaks, actually, I forgot to mention. That's why I got cardboard under it. It's a work in progress. So I will probably hold on to this car for a while because I don't think it's going to be ready to sell anytime soon. I got to do a lot of work to this, and I have a lot of projects. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for bearing with me all the times of this mic setup and the old camera. New stuff soon, so look forward to it, because I look forward to it. Anyway, thank you guys again. I will see you in the next episode when we're messing with this E9. Bye-bye.